Okay, so let's solve this question, still on indices. And the question is 6 raised to power of 1 over 3 times 12 raised to power of 1 over 3 divided by 81 raised to power of 1 over 6. As usual, I want you to pause the video, try to solve it, have your answer, and so we can compare it together. Please go ahead and solve it. Okay, so I want to believe you've solved it and you've gotten your answer, so let's do it together. The first thing we're going to do will be for us to try to break down each of these numbers to smaller bases. Alright, so for 6 we need to break it down. What are the numbers we can multiply together to have 6? That will be 2 and 3. So we now say here, okay, let's take this out. We can now have it as 2 times 3. So that's for the first one. Of course, we have here 2 times 3, and the power will remain. The power will remain. So since the power will remain, we have it as everything raised to power of 1 over 3. Everything raised to power 1 over 3. We're good with that one. We now proceed with the next. But let's bring down a multiplication sign. The next thing we're going to ask ourselves is, what are the numbers that we can multiply together to give us 12? That will be 4 times 3. 4 times 3 will give us 12. And we can still go ahead to break down 4 into 2 times 2. That is 2 raised to power 2. Okay, so where we have, and this will become 2 raised to power 2 times 3. Okay, so we can now replace 12 with that. Replacing 12 with that, we're going to have it as 2 raised to power 2 times 3. We now have it as 12. Thus we have it as 12. But now the power, we need to bring in the power. And bringing in the power, we need to put everything in brackets. Everything here, this and this will be in brackets. Of course, raised to the power. The power was 1 over 3. Good. 1 over 3. Alright, so we are done with everything for the numerator, and we're now going to consider our denominator. But before then, let's have our division sign. Let's look at numbers that we can multiply together, and we're going to have as you're going to have 81. That will be, because we have 2 here, we have 3 here, so let's even 10. Yes, so that will be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and that will make it to be 3. Okay, let me just maintain our number color. So that will be 3 raised to the power of 4. 3 raised to the power of 4 will give us 81, but the power of 81 will remain, and that power happens to be 1 all over 6. So we maintain our 1 all over 6 here. 1 all over 6. Okay, right. So we proceed. The next thing we're going to do will be for us to solve the bracket. Let's open up the brackets. Alright, so the first bracket that we had here was 2 times 3 raised to the power 1 over 3. Now, something's going to happen. 1 over 3 here will come down to this bracket to affect these 2 here. And then if it comes down there, the power now will be this power. These 2 will have this power as 1 all over 3. Good. And if it has that as that, now it's going to be times 3. This 3 here will still have the power. 1 over 3 affects all of them. So here is the 3. Let's take it out. Now we times 3, and the power remains as 1 over 3. So let's have it here, our 1 over 3. Good. So we are done with the first bracket. The next thing we're going to do will be for us to solve for the second bracket. And solving for that, still the same method we're going to do. Anything that was outside the bracket is going to multiply. The power that was outside the bracket is going to multiply the powers that are inside the bracket. So like now we have our 2, and there's a 2 here. It's going to, this 1 over 3 is going to come here and multiply with this 2, and if it comes, that will now, this will now be 2 times 1 over 3. That is for the first one. Okay, so and it's the same thing is going to happen to 3. We have here times 3. Okay, and the 3, you have 3 here, and there was no power in the bracket, so it's just going to take the power that's outside the bracket only. All right, and that power is what we have here as 1 all over 3. So it seems that we're done with everything the numerator. So since we're done with the numerator, we'll now be considering our denominator, and it's still going to be similar to what we've just finished. Okay, so let's solve for our denominator. Denominator, the 3 is 3 raised to the power 4. Okay, let's have it well. It's 3 raised to the power 4 times 1 over 6. Okay, so let's have our 3 here. Okay, and the powers is what we're working with now. The power was, the first one is 4, and the outside power will come in, and that will be times 1 over 6. Okay, times 1 over 6. All right. Okay, so we proceed by solving it now. Now we're going to try to group all tools to come to twos, and since all of this multiplication, the law of indices says when we are multiplying numbers of the same base, we add the power. So the first power for these 2 here is, we happen to have it as 1 over 3. So have it as 1 over 3. That's the power for this one. And this other 2 here, when we multiply 2 by 1 over 3, we're going to have it as 2 over 3. And it's going to have a plus sign. It's going to have a plus sign. So that makes it to be 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3. So we have it as 2 over 3. All right, so let's have it here, 2 over 3. As we are done with 2 for the numerator, right? Yes, we are. Now we pick the next number. But before we pick the next number, let's introduce our multiplication sign. The next number is 3, right? Yes, of course, it's 3. So let's group 3, and considering their power, the first 3 here is 1 over 3. We have it as 1 over 3, and since it is multiplication, we add the powers. The next one is what? The next one is still 1 over 3. Yeah, so we bring our plus sign, and of course we still add it up as 1 over 3. All right, so we're done with the numerator. Since we are done with the numerator, we'll be considering our denominator. And before then, let's have it as everything here over what we're going to have it now as our denominator. That is 3 raised to the power 4 times 1 over 6. Good. So these are 3, and then 4 times 1 over 6 is going to give us what? It's going to give us 4. It's going to give us 4 over 6, and 2 will cancel 4. That will be 2 times. 2 will cancel 3. 6. That will be 3 times. So the answer now is 2 over 3. So right here, 4 times 1 over 6 is going to give us here as 2 over 3. All right. Okay. Sorry. All right. So the power now is 2 over 3. Okay. We're making progress. So we're making progress. So the next thing we're going to do now will be for us to solve it out. Okay. Let's try to create a space here. Let's try to create a space here so we can finish it up. All right. So for 2, we have it here as 2 here, and let's look at the power. Now looking at the power, 1 plus 1 over 3 rather plus 2 over 3. Okay, they are the same. Denominators are the same. The denominators here are the same, and so we add up only the numerator. That's 1 plus 2, 3. So it becomes 3 over 3. So this power now becomes 2 raised to the power 3 over 3. My power is not nice. I don't like it, but let's manage it. Can we? Yes, let's do it. All right. So okay. So we have our multiplication sign here, and let's come to our 3. Our 3, we're going to add up the powers. Adding up the powers, what do you think we're going to have? 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. That will give us, we add the numerator alone, that will be 2, and then the denominator over 3. Okay, All right, so and then we now proceed to our denominator. Okay, proceed. I don't like that. Let's get this for our denominator, and then everything will be all over. Let's solve for this. Of this one remains as 3 raised to the power of, let's have it as 3. Pardon me. Okay, so let's have it as 3. All right, raised to the power of 2 over 3. 2 over 3. All right, so looking at, you need to look at something here very interesting. We have 3 raised to the power 2 over 3 as the denominator here, and we also have 3 raised to the power 2 over 3 as the numerator here, so they can all cancel out. Cancel out is 1 time, comes here, cancel out also 1 time. That is done. And we have our 2 raised to the power 3 over 3, so 3 cancel itself here is 1, comes into this other 3 is 1. So our 2 will now be, our 2 raised to the power 3 over 3 will now be 2 raised to the power of 1, because 1 over 1 is the same thing as 1. This is the same thing as saying 2 raised to the power of 1 is the same thing as saying 2, and that is our answer. 2 is our answer. Now if we come to our option, let's see in our option we have option A as 3, B. Okay, so we have our option. Our correct option is option B. Correct option is option B. So if you've done that, you're very correct. What we did here was for us to change everything, break it down, and the 6 was here 2 times 3 for that of 12, and then we proceed, and that was 4 times 3, and did everything, regroup them, add up the powers, and we had our answer. So that is it for now. Catch you in the next class. Bye bye.